Welcome to Time Management Radio. This is Catherine McKinnon. During our time together, you'll find everything you've been searching for to live a productive life of accomplishment and ease. I'm dedicated to helping you discover new ways to change the way you use your time so you can change your life. I'll show you how to build a solid foundation to increase your focus, reduce the mental chaos and stress, get things done, feel organized, energized, and save time each day. You'll learn the secrets to productivity, simple, easy tips to prioritize and set goals, reduce procrastination, unlock your creativity, and get better results with your time. Guests on this show are experts in all areas of time management and productivity and offer advice you can use to transform the way you spend time in every area of your life, from your heart and your mind and your body to your soul, from the latest productivity tools to optimizing your time building wealth for your business or career, from healthy living and fitness habits to tips on increasing your energy, from metaphysics to quantum physics, all expanding on one truth. It's not how much time you have that matters. What matters most is how you spend the time you have. I'm your host, Catherine McKinnon, 20-year executive coach, time management expert, and author of a bestseller in its category on Amazon, Triple Your Time Today. If you'd like to know more about me, you can find me at www.catherine-mckinnon.com. That's Kathryn-McKinnon.com. You can find Time Management Radio on webtalkradio.net and on iTunes. I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about how we can use hypnosis for time management success. Now, you might be wondering, what does hypnosis have to do with time management? Well, hypnosis is a form of mental reconditioning to improve the way you think. You can use hypnosis to increase your motivation, to improve your mental focus, and probably most importantly, to change the habits and behaviors that aren't supporting your goals. So if you're stuck and wondering how you can overcome that procrastination, or how you can improve your productivity, or remove the blocks that are stopping you from achieving what you want, then stay tuned, because you're in for a real treat. My guest is Alicia Cramer. Alicia is a certified hypnotherapist. She's also a coach and the author of a book called Hypnosis for Success, Learn How to Tap into the Potential of Your Mind. And Alicia helps business owners and professionals create the right mindset for success. She's also known for her hypnosis audios, and she's going to guide us through a process of hypnotherapy today and show us how you can use it to maximize your productivity and help release your stress. Now, Alicia's website is aliciakramer.com. But before I bring Alicia on, I just want to mention a live teleclass that my friend Monique Wells is holding on December 6th. As you may remember, Monique was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about prioritizing for productivity. Well, the holidays are coming up, and Monique has put together a special paid teleclass to help us with a topic that so many of us wrestle with over the holidays, and that is how to deal with and say no to guilt. And you know who you are. It's a perfect time because the holidays can be wonderful, but they can also be really challenging if you're going to be with people who push those guilt buttons, or if you're feeling guilty about something that you should do, or you should have done, or even if you're anticipating feeling guilty before anything happens, then you've got to get on this call and learn about some really helpful ways to eliminate the guilt before it happens, so you can have a happy, guilt-free holiday. And this 90-minute teleclass is very reasonably priced at an early bird rate of only $97. After December 6th, the price is going up to $147. So what's a guilt-free holiday worth to you? If you want to find more about this call and register for the class, go to http://tinyurl.com/C5F as in Frank 3H54. Alicia, welcome to Time Management Radio.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm very excited to be with you.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the call because you're doing something really interesting that a lot of people have heard about but probably don't know much about. And I would say you're on the cutting edge. So let's just talk about hypnosis and your area of expertise. And tell me how we can apply hypnosis, or what you might call mental conditioning or reconditioning, to improve our time management skills.
I love that you use the term reconditioning because that's really what it is. All of us can look into our life and see certain patterns and behaviors that are sabotaging the quality of life and the level of success that we want to have. When we talk about time, we all have the same amount of it. It's pretty cliche. You hear virtually everyone say it, right? So yeah. I'll agree that we all have 24 hours in a day. And, it's interesting because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and some very successful individuals in their careers who, again, we're all operating with the same amount of time in a day, and I see a very distinct difference in the way that people think about their work, about their day, about the way that they structure their time and manage their time.
Okay.
And the individuals that are most successful, they see it different. They perceive it different. They have a very different mindset about time, and they really place a greater value on it. They treat it with more respect. They're more clear and focused. They have a little bit more mental discipline. And a lot of, especially new entrepreneurs that I work with, people who are just breaking into their very first business, are less disciplined. They're more scattered. They have a lot of old negative behaviors that are interfering with their ability to be effective and to really utilize their time in a productive way. So these things are really, truly old patterns, old conditioning at the subconscious level of the mind. And in order to change those, we need to work at the level of the mind where those patterns are operating pretty much on autopilot.
Yeah, okay.
So hypnosis is a wonderful, wonderful tool for us to change some of those old behaviors and those old patterns.
But let's talk about that for a second, because I'm sure there are people thinking, well, I don't want anybody messing with my mind, and hypnosis is sort of like out there. What do you hear from people? Are there common misconceptions about professional hypnosis, and how do you help people get beyond that?
There are so many misconceptions about professional hypnosis. It's very unfortunate because the modern field of hypnotherapy is absolutely incredible, and all backed by modern psychology, brain research, the field of neuroscience. We know that if you're working with somebody who is well-trained, it is extremely safe, very enjoyable process. It's a deep level of relaxation. A huge misconception that I like to dispel right off the bat is that a hypnotherapist has some kind of special powers over your mind. They can change your beliefs or make you do things that you don't want to do, and that's quite honestly, it's not true.
Okay.
There are very few people that are susceptible to being completely swayed by anybody else's suggestions to begin with, and those people would be swayed anyway, regardless of whether or not it's a hypnotherapist that's working with them. But the truth is that nobody can make you do anything against your will. We have an incredible ability to practice discrimination. We have the ability of choice, although a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people operate from kind of that victim mindset. But the truth is that nobody can make you do anything against your will, including when you're in a hypnotic state. Your subconscious mind will reject suggestions that are out of alignment with your core values.
Okay, so you're saying that it's not brainwashing. it is more like entering into a very deep meditation. And then what do? You make suggestions to help them change their mental habits and behaviors?
Yes, and it does get a little bit more in-depth than that. A lot of people are familiar with one form of hypnosis, which is just, getting into that hypnotic state, which is really, it's a combination of slowing down your brainwaves from our normal waking beta brainwave, which is a faster-paced brainwave state, and the dominant brainwave states that we go into when we enter into those suggestible states are alpha and theta brainwaves predominantly. And when you're in that and you have good rapport with the person that you're working with, you're naturally more suggestible. The classic form of hypnosis is just giving suggestions. Everybody can probably relate to hearing or seeing on TV, you're getting very, very sleepy and that type of direct suggestion. Mm-hmm. But the field of hypnosis and most specifically hypnotherapy utilizes a lot of different mindset techniques where you're using different tonalities and different metaphors, and there's a lot of different strategy understanding how the human mind works and how we change our thought processes, and different techniques are used to accomplish different things. So if somebody has, say, a very deep trauma that we're dealing with, we're oftentimes not going to rely on just giving them suggestions that they're happy and everything as well. We may use different techniques to help to desensitize the negative emotions at that subconscious level, and then also creating new interpretations, new associations with things that in the past may have triggered pain or fear, just as some real basic examples.
So can you tell me, you're saying you can change these core patterns and behaviors working at the subconscious level, but how is that really possible? How can you tell me how you do that?
Well, first it's important to understand a real basic understanding of how the mind works. Okay. Essentially, we have it's kind of like two minds operating together synergistically, although sometimes, if we're completely honest, they don't always play nice together. So we've got our conscious mind, which experts are pretty much in agreement that it's between about I've heard as low as 5. A lot of people have heard 10% of your mind power. Yeah. Will say that you use in any given day. That's your logic, your reason, your willpower, your ability to make conscious choices. So most of us know that there are certain things that we want to accomplish and achieve, but when we're doing the opposite of what we want, say, I want to make these phone calls, I want to contact these people to do, this or that or whatever to propel my business forward, to increase my income, and you're finding yourself not doing those things, right. That's because you have beliefs at the subconscious level, which is the other aspect of the mind. And the subconscious is a very powerful part of the mind because it's our operating system, essentially. It's the part of the mind that regulates virtually every bodily process, right? You don't have to be consciously aware that you need to breathe. You do not need to be consciously aware that you need to do all of these processes for digestion, to keep your heart pumping blood. So it serves a very valuable purpose. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that your beliefs and your patterns and your survival instincts are also subconscious processes. And those processes are developed early in life. Mm-hmm. So you're learning how to think and how to react to certain things from the time that you're born really all through life, but definitely until you're about 7 to 8 years old. So if mom and dad struggled with money issues, or they didn't handle stress very well and they had a lot of emotional outbursts, you might find yourself as an adult automatically reacting in similar ways.
Because we're basically mimicking the role models for us at a very early age. And then that would even apply to things like procrastination and fear. And it could apply to any behavior or thought pattern we have, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you look at the way that the mind works from a more objective perspective, it makes a lot of sense. And we have a tendency to over-emotionalize a lot of things in our life. So when we over-emotionalize, we cloud our ability to see with logic and reason and understanding why we're doing the things that we do. But if we disassociate from all of that emotional stuff and we just look at the way that the mind works, we begin to understand that what's going on in our life, what we're creating, what we're doing, the things that we're struggling with or the things that come easy for us can all be explained by understanding how the mind works.
That's really, that's fascinating. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the techniques you use that where you can actually get into a process? Maybe you talk about a little process later on, but what are some of the techniques that you use to tap into people's minds to help them change their mental behaviors and patterns?
Well, hypnosis is definitely one way, and the field of hypnosis is it's not just as simple as fixating somebody's eyes on, say, a crystal or a swinging watch and telling them that they're getting sleepy, and then they automatically go into a hypnotic state. It's a little bit more elaborate than that, but the processes that we use to get somebody into that ideal brainwave state, that ideal mindset for accepting new suggestions and changing behaviors at the subconscious level, that encompasses a lot of different techniques in and of itself. There's the classical form of hypnosis, which I use with a lot of my clients, mainly because that's what people expect when they work with a hypnotherapist. They expect to, lay down and get sleepy and, go into that deeper level of mind. But there are also other ways that we can use similar principles when somebody is in a normal conscious state. Or we wouldn't say normal because they are entering into a state of suggestibility, but it's called conversational hypnosis, or some people know it as Ericksonian hypnosis. It's another form of hypnosis working with people to change patterns at the subconscious level, but it's in a conversational format, so people oftentimes don't even realize that we're making changes. We're just, it seems like we're just in conversation. And we're incorporating different practices that are taught in NLP. That stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, another technique that I use with my clients to make behavioral changes. I also incorporate a lot of different types of energy psychology. EFT is a technique that I love to teach my clients. It was transformational for me when I was overcoming symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. And EFT is short for Emotional Freedom Techniques, which is an acupuncture technique that is based on the concept of acupuncture, but it's non-invasive and it's highly effective for changing beliefs and overcoming old emotional blocks and traumas that can interfere with our health and our happiness and, a range of other things as well.
Yeah, I've used EFT with my clients, and it's actually very transformative for people who, if someone doesn't know about that, it's also called tapping, and it's a series of like scripts that you can basically go through and talk out by tapping certain points on your body. It's really, really interesting. I haven't heard of this conversational hypnosis too much, though. What are some of the things you would say to someone if you were in a session with them and they were having some kind of an issue, maybe, for example, stress, or dealing with an inability to prioritize, or procrastination, or some time management issue? What would you say to them to help them actually? We're talking about changing what their mind is telling them to do versus what they want to do, right? So what would you say to them to help them do that?
Well, in order to be most effective, it's very important to have established some degree of rapport and to be in kind of that synchronized state with them, knowing what their challenge is, and then oftentimes we'll use different metaphors or different stories, or I might relate something that I have struggled with similarly, excuse me, and overcome. And in sharing that story, we're really, really integrating that bonding process so that you can feel yourself in my story, and you begin to, at the subconscious level, associate yourself in my story, but with your circumstances, overcoming that challenge, doing things in this new way. So you begin to see and feel yourself in your own mind, successfully managing your time, feeling more confident, behaving in a way that's more efficient and effective. And it's just that simple story that evokes that change at your subconscious level, because in the past you saw yourself subconsciously, your mind automatically would think of yourself doing things in that old way. And now the subconscious mind is able to see and feel yourself doing it in a different way. So we've created a new known, it's kind of a terminology used in hypnosis, a new known in your subconscious mind. So you cannot do what you do not know. Okay. You'll do what you know at that subconscious level of your mind, and we want to override some of those old knowns, those old ways of doing things that are not serving you, they're not working for you, with new knowns to the subconscious mind that are empowering and allow you to achieve your goals and to be in that state of flow, to be in that state of alignment with achieving your goals.
So this is more, though, than just suggestion. This is using, that's interesting the way you say, using stories, which can be a very, very powerful way of creating a visual for people, and combining that with an auditory message or whatever. And then, so you're saying you put people into a new story. They're creating a new story, and that helps them see it and believe it. Is that what you're saying?
There's different processes that are taking place at the subconscious level. And the subconscious mind is, it operates through symbolism. If you think about the dream that you had last night, or a dream that you can remember, you think sometimes when you wake up, you're like, that was the most bizarre thing. That just does not make any logical sense at all.
Exactly.
One minute you're at the dinner table with friends and family, and all of a sudden, you're in this whole different scenery, and you're running through the fields chasing a rabbit, or
right.
Just something bizarre.
Kittens or something.
Yeah. And the subconscious mind is, that's essentially the part of your mind that's operating when you're asleep. But the subconscious mind is very, very responsive and receptive to symbolism, which is why we use a lot of metaphors and a lot of stories, because when somebody, even if you're in a normal waking state and you're having a conversation with somebody, and let's say they're telling a story and you're really finding yourself just getting into it, you're feeling the emotion of it, and they're getting up to like the climactic point of the story, and you're starting to feel the anxiety building in you. You're actually in what we would call hypnotic state. You shifted from your normal conscious, waking beta brainwave state into probably, a slower brainwave, and you're becoming now, immersed in this story as though it's real and it's in the moment. And when you're in that brainwave state, we're now tapping into that subconscious part of your mind, and it's those moments when you have the aha. We've all experienced them throughout our life. It's that moment when it just clicks. Something new clicks, and you get it. And you've now created a shift at that subconscious level.
So are you saying that the successful people, say people who know how to manage their time or manage their stress or make money or, are they successful in business, do they work on this within this brain wave state while they're awake? I mean, is that going on to some degree?
Well, what's going on is that they have different belief systems, different conditioning at the subconscious level. So we're all essentially operating, again, about 95% of our day based upon our subconscious conditioning. So the level of success or failure that you're experiencing in your life and in your career is in large part due to whatever is in your conditioning, because that is essentially determining how you're going to behave, how you're going to react, how you're going to, the choices and decisions that you're making are rooted in your conditioning, in your subconscious conditioning. So if we look at two people and one is successful in their career and the other person is in the exact same field but is struggling, and we go into the subconscious and we look at those different beliefs and those different patterns and the different conditioning, you're going to see some very distinct differences.
Okay.
The person that's struggling may have beliefs that, there's never enough. There's scarcity. There's never enough money.
Right.
They may have, deep-rooted fears of rejection. Their procrastination may be caused because they're afraid to make the phone calls, because they're afraid of the rejection. They're afraid of the pain. They perceive it as too painful to do, so they'll find other things that are not productive to do with their time as a way to avoid the painful things.
Okay,
and they don't even realize that they're doing it because it's so deep-rooted.
Yeah, it's kind of like your story on autopilot steroids, probably.
Yeah.
Now, and so this is that's really interesting, because what you're saying is it's a way for, I guess you would have to understand what a person's belief system is first, then, wouldn't you? You go put them through a questionnaire or something, or how do you get that?
It's yes and no. Sometimes the patterns are right in front of their face, but they're just so deeply ingrained that we can't even see it. It's sometimes referred to as our blind spot. Somebody else can see it, pretty blatantly obvious to them, but when we're in it, we can't see it because we are living it. It feels normal to us.
Yeah.
So those are some easier ones to identify and clear and change. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and there's kind of a digging process. That's not always necessary, and it's not something that I always recommend. When I'm teaching different programs and teaching my clients how to use different techniques to shift their own, shift out of their own challenges and make changes in their own lives so they're more self-reliant, what I oftentimes explain to people is, if something's on the surface, if you're bumping up against some some issues. You're feeling fear, you're feeling frustration, you're dealing with some emotions that are creating problems in your life. You want to face that. You want to look at it. You want to deal with it appropriately so that you can resolve it and move forward in your life in a more empowered way. However, you could get lost in finding everything that is perceivably wrong with you. You could spend your entire life finding all of the stuff that is wrong, that needs to be corrected, and that is not a healthy and empowered way to live your life.
Yeah.
So you deal with things when they're on the surface, when there's a problem. If you need to make more money in your career and nothing that you're doing is working, you've tried every program, you've read every book, and you're just not getting the results, well, you probably have some stuff in your subconscious mind that's interfering with your ability to achieve that specific outcome. Find someone to help you to deal with that at the subconscious level. Now, some of those things you'll want to look at specifically and address. If you had parents that were very poverty conscious, those are some things that are probably on the surface that can be dealt with. Other ways that we want to work at the subconscious level is to just, really focus on the positives, on creating new positive behaviors. So we don't need to dig up all of your stuff, and we don't want to dig up all of your stuff. You want to be happy, right? You want to live an empowered life, and you're not going to be living a happy and empowered life if you focus all of your mental attention on finding everything that's wrong.
Oh, that's exactly right. And some of us actually spend more time focusing on the negative than the positive, and that's what causes a lot of issues for some people. Which
absolutely.
You're right, it's not productive at all. I want to get a little bit of an understanding of your background and how you got into this, and really kind of understand your story. Can you share that with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to share from the turning point, because when I was younger, I grew up in an alcoholic home, and there was a lot of anger and a lot of negativity, and it was not always the best environment. So it had some negative effects on me, which would not be surprising to anybody who looked from the outside looking in. And I was going down kind of just that reckless path, really lost and very low self-esteem, very low self-worth. And it wasn't until I was 25, I was out with some girlfriends, and I was given a date rape drug, and essentially, in a nutshell, I was physically and sexually assaulted, and it was incredibly traumatic for me. I was told that I had symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was horrible. It really, truly was a very difficult time in my life. I was afraid of virtually everything. I was afraid to be in my house. I was afraid to leave my house. Everything would make me jump. I was just in a constant state of emotional turmoil. And it was a couple months of that. And I remember thinking, I can't do this anymore. I cannot live the rest of my life like this. Either this is going to kill me, or I have to find some way to change it. It has to change.
Right.
And it wasn't like I'm going to go to the doctor and go on a medication that's going to, dumb me down and I'm still going to live with this, but I'm going to put a Band-Aid over it. That was not acceptable to me. I wanted a cure. I wanted a solution. I wanted a change. And I went online and I got a bunch of books, and I just started researching alternative treatments and methods. And I found several that really resonated with me, and I booked them all. I just went on this massive healing journey, and really started the process of healing at that deeper level. And one of the methods was hypnosis. Another was the EFT that we talked about.
Right.
And there were several others as well, several other different alternative and energy-related techniques, and it was incredibly transformational for me, profoundly transformational, where not only did I begin to overcome the symptoms of the post-traumatic stress disorder, but I was becoming more confident. I was starting to feel different about who I was at a very, very deep core level. And it was so inspiring to be able to go through that type of transformation that I decided I wanted to help people similarly to how I had been helped. So I became an Eft practitioner. I went in and I got my advanced training. At the time, it was directly through Gary Craig, and now EFT has really branched off, into this whole other kind of world, taking on a life of its own. But I had gotten mock training from him and his programs, and I had some success with that, but I really was not. I did not have business savvy at all. I did not know what I was doing, and it was not enough to be a sustainable business. So I ended up going back to work and just working with clients part-time. And it wasn't until years later I found out I was pregnant. And at that time I was managing a cell phone store, and I absolutely hated it. I was so unhappy. I always wanted to be my own boss. And the thought of somebody else raising my son while I came to work at a job that I absolutely hated, it was just too much to bear. And so I went back to school, and I got my advanced hypnotherapy training from HMI, which is currently the only nationally accredited college of hypnotherapy. And I really literally I felt like the universe was just pushing me into it.
Wow.
Clients started to come from different referral sources, friends and family, and people were finding me from like a couple little ads that I had posted on Craigslist and a tiny little website that I had thrown up. And it was like the universe was literally just sending people to me. And it really was a leap of faith. It really was. I had a newborn baby. I did not have any savings. I did not have any. I had failure attempts at business in the past, and I used the techniques that I knew to overcome my negative conditioning and to grow my business. And I worked with my very first hypnotherapy client in January of 2010, and now here we are at the end of, it's almost December 2012, and my business has gone from a local one-to-one hypnotherapy practice to a global coaching and hypnotherapy business. And I work with clients primarily in the United States, but I have customers of my hypnosis products and programs all over the world now.
That's fabulous. Wow, it's, when the universe guides us in ways, it's mostly our intuition, I guess, that's also speaking, but when it works and it clicks, it's, that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing, and it almost takes on a mind of its own, doesn't it? With it, where you're not exactly sure why you're in that area, but that for some reason it's meant to be that way, or you're just being guided in some otherworldly way, and it's really interesting when that happens. It
is, and I love that you bring that up. And the truth is that a lot of people know that there's something else that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But, and here's the thing too, is that even if you feel like you're in the right place, but something's still not working, it's not right. And for me, it has been a continuous process of shifting and changing and resolving my own old conditioning, because you don't just say, oh, here's where I'm meant to be, and now you live happily ever after. It'd be really nice if that was the case, but we still have all of our old junk, and we have to overcome those old patterns in order to be truly successful and fulfilled. And that's why I love to work with people that are really in their right place, because they have something so valuable to share with the world, and they're getting in their own way, and we clear that stuff away so that they can really be out there doing what they're meant to do. So
you're helping people clear the blocks that are preventing them from really sharing what they need to share with the world, and being as successful as they are intended to be, because we're all intended to be successful. We just don't always believe it ourselves, do we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure some people would be asking you from time to time, well, is this permanent, or am I going to revert back to my old evil self? Is it a permanent change? I know it's incremental. It may not happen all at once, but if people are in the right spot, is it something that is permanent, so that you never have to look back again on that person who was afraid, or was the procrastinator, or couldn't get things done, or got in their own way, or wasn't managing their lives as smoothly as they wanted to? Is it a permanent change?
Well, here's an important thing to take into consideration. When you make a real legitimate shift at the subconscious level, it is permanent. However, that doesn't mean that you're not going to acquire new bad habits.
Oh, okay.
And the thing too is that, we may resolve certain things, but there may be other things that are conflicting with your success as well. So let's say that we begin to shift your mindset around your productivity, but you still have deep subconscious blocks to receiving money for your services or for what you do. So there's oftentimes when I'm working with people, and I work with people on a lot of different levels, sometimes people will come in and they just want 1 or 2 sessions. They've got one issue that they've been really struggling with. They're tired of it. They want to change. We resolve that, and they're as happy as can be, and they go on their way living their life pretty much the same as before, but now without that issue anymore. Other people I'll work with for months, sometimes for years. In fact, some of the most successful people that I've worked with, I've worked with the longest, because they really get it. They understand that we're going through life and we're accumulating new stuff, and we're bumping up against stuff, and old stuff is coming up, and it's a process of, it's just like going to the gym. You don't just, you say, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. I go and I lose 20 pounds, and then I stop exercising, I stop working out, and then I don't understand why I'm not as fit and in shape as I was when I was working out. Well, you're not conditioning yourself anymore. So you're exactly where you should be for the behaviors that you're practicing. And it's the same with the mind. So if you want to be successful, and if you read about successful individuals, you'll find they are always learning, they're always growing, they're always spending time on their personal development.
Yeah, it's always a self-discovery, and what I've noticed is, you're absolutely right. One thing might change or shift, but then that sort of opens the opportunity for something else to come to the surface that also needs to be healed or shifted. And then that leads an opportunity for something else. So it's kind of like peeling back an onion, isn't it? Where your deepest issues are allowed to emerge as some of the ones on the surface are revealed. Very interesting. I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to take me through a process, because I'd really kind of like to do that. And I'm just wondering if that would be okay, and maybe we could do something around stress, or releasing stress, or releasing some subconscious blocks that maybe we don't even know we have. Maybe it's, maybe there's something that I've got within me that I'm not even sure I'm blocking. But is there some kind of little process that you could take me through, so I could get a sample of your work?
Sure, and keep in mind that because of time constraints, we'll keep it very, very short. But I'd love to, just do a kind of like a guided relaxation, stress relief mini session, so to speak, that can be applied in the future as well for managing stress. So just sharing with everybody some little tips and tricks, insider tricks, so to speak, for how you can recreate this stress relief effect. Now, it is very important that if anybody is listening to this, while they're driving or in the background when they're doing anything that requires attention, so if you're listening to this and you're making dinner, do not participate in this activity, because we do not want anybody to slip into a deep state and injure themselves or anyone else. So I have to put that out there.
Okay.
And also to keep in mind that when I'm doing different forms of hypnosis or guided hypnosis, and I sell a lot of guided hypnosis products online, that typically I'll take you into a deeper state with those longer audios. Usually they're about 20 minutes in length.
Sure.
So this is going to be just about kind of dropping you into a slower brainwave state and really tapping into within you that ability to feel more calm, more relaxed, more centered and grounded. And then what we'll do is an anchoring technique. And essentially what that is like, if you love coffee, for instance, as soon as you smell, as soon as your nose picks up on that whiff of fresh brewed coffee, it instantly triggers a certain emotion within you.
Okay.
So that response is what we would say is anchored in your subconscious mind. For some people it's the smell of fresh baked cookies, or the way that you feel when you hear a certain song that takes you back to your prom, or when you fell in love with Johnny or Mary or whoever. And so we use these anchoring processes oftentimes with this you call it hypnotic state or heightened state of suggestibility, so that when you're in a normal waking state, you can do this anchor, or for sometimes we'll anchor a color, or I'll probably have you press together the thumb and index finger of either your right or left hand, like you're pinching your fingers together, almost like you're holding a pencil in between your fingers. And when you're going about your day and you want to feel a little bit more calm, a little more relaxed, a little more in control, it's not going to put you into a hypnotic state. What it's going to do is it's going to trigger that kind of feeling that we're going to create for you with this very short kind of mini session.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So it's very important to be either sitting or lying down comfortably in a safe place. Typically, anytime you're doing any form of meditation, guided meditation, hypnosis, guided hypnosis, you want quiet, you want to be alone. You do not want the TV on or anything that is going to be simultaneously putting suggestions into your subconscious mind.
Right, okay.
And the technique that we're going to use to slow down your brain waves is a little trick that you can use in the future for if you're doing like a visualization session. So if you're visualizing your goals, for instance, to get into this slower brainwave state is very beneficial for goal achievement. But I will say also a little caveat is that if you're in a really funky mood, if you're in a really bad mood, you may not want to use this, because we don't want you to be thinking negative thoughts when you're in an altered state of consciousness, because we're always bombarding ourselves with all this crappy negative self-hypnosis. We want to minimize that as much as we possibly can.
Okay.
So sitting or lying comfortably.
Okay.
You can either look up above eye level and choose one single spot on either the ceiling or wall that you're going to fix your gaze on. Or what a lot of people like to do, so you have an either-or option here, you can roll your eyes up as though it's like you're trying to look at the center of your forehead, or for some people who are a little more versed in energy work, you're looking up to the area of the third eye.
Which is in the middle of your forehead.
Exactly.
Like it's between your two eyebrows. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you're looking up. So you're rolling your eyes up and kind of towards that middle center point between your eyes, or right in the middle of your forehead.
Okay.
Now, just looking up above eye level for a very short period of time is going to begin to naturally slow your brain waves down from the fast-paced beta. You're going to begin to relax into that alpha state. So we're just going to look up until you start to feel your eyes getting a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Now, as you're looking up, just bring your attention into your breathing so you feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And that's naturally going to create a little more comfort. So now as you continue looking up and feeling yourself becoming a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable with each and every breath that you take in. When you notice that your eyelids are feeling a little heavy, you might even find yourself struggling, trying to keep your eyes open. When you notice that the harder you try to keep your eyes open, the more difficult it becomes. At that point, when you're ready, you just go ahead and allow your eyes to close. And then you drop all of your attention into your breathing. You just feel present with each and every breath. And if your mind begins to wander, just bring your attention back to your breathing. We're going to do a progressive relaxation. This is just to help your body relax and get into an even more peaceful, relaxed state of mind and body. So if you bring your attention down now into your feet, with your attention down in your feet, you can be aware of the very subtle pull of gravity. Just notice that gentle, subtle pull of gravity pulling your feet down gently and comfortably, relaxing your feet. And just allow that relaxation now to flow through your legs, soothing and comforting. And up now into your back and chest. Feeling it relax your shoulders. You might even feel your shoulders just let go and relax. Allow the comfort to flow down your arms and into your hands. For some people, it feels like your body might be getting a little heavier. For some people, it might feel a little lighter. Either way is perfect for you. And just allow that comfort to move into your neck now. Feeling it now in the back of your head and down your face. Relaxing every muscle in your face, all the little muscles around your eyes. And just know that you are actually in control during this entire process. And you can recreate this relaxation anytime you choose. And now, with your eyes closed, I'd like you to look up and out above eye level. And just imagine that there's a screen in your mind. And on that screen, you see the number 10 flash on that screen. And now the number 9 flash. And each number is creating an even deeper state of relaxation. Now 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And at 0, we always drop into an even deeper state of relaxation. And you can remember what it feels like to feel good, to feel relaxed, to feel calm. And just remember, you might remember a time when you felt incredibly peaceful. Or you might just remember the feeling. Your unconscious mind can remember every feeling. As you feel that feeling, calm, peace, relaxation, just focus in on that feeling. And no matter how small or subtle it might seem, as you focus on feeling that feeling, it expands, growing stronger and stronger. And the more you focus on that feeling, the more you feel it, the more powerful it becomes, so that you feel that wonderful feeling of relaxation growing stronger and stronger. You might feel it now in your entire body and being. And you can just, with the power of your mind, double it now. I'd like you to take a nice deep cleansing breath, and as you do, letting go of any remaining stress or tension, just releasing, relaxing, and letting it go. And double that good feeling again. Now, with your eyes closed, feeling nice and relaxed, go ahead and press together the thumb and index finger of either your right or left hand, whichever you prefer now. And as you take another nice deep cleansing breath in, I want you to double that wonderful feeling of relaxation again. And now with another nice deep cleansing breath in your mind, you can say either the word calm or relax, whichever you prefer, whichever feels best for you. With your fingers still pressed together, again, another nice deep cleansing breath in. In your mind, say your word, either calm or relax. Now we're anchoring this sensation of feeling calm, relaxed, and in control at the subconscious level of your mind, so that each and every time you consciously choose to feel this, you can simply press together the thumb and index finger of either your right or left hand. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in, and in your mind say your word, either calm or relax. And it will immediately trigger this feeling of being calm, relaxed, and in control. And each and every time you use this technique, the effects become even stronger, faster, even more positive. So now you can relax your hand, and as you do, just relax your body and go a little deeper into that relaxation. And anytime you want to recreate this state of relaxation and comfort, you can either listen to this audio again, or you can recreate this state using the power of your own mind. And as you go through your day-to-day activities, anytime you'd like to feel more calm, in control, feel more relaxed, or inner peace, you can use your tool, simply pressing together the thumb and index finger of either your right or left hand. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in, and in your mind say your word, either calm or relax. And now we'll just bring you up and back to a more alert state. So I will count now from 0 up to 5. At the count of 5, just feel yourself energized, alert, back to a normal conscious waking state. At 0, we always reinforce going even deeper at 0. 1, slowly, gently feel your energy level coming up. 2, 3, feeling more alert. 4, feeling more energy now. And 5, eyes open, feeling alert, feeling awake, feeling good.
Wow.
Let me know how you're doing, Catherine.
Awesome. That was awesome. And that was the short version.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what the long one is like. That was great. Wow. Loved it. That was just great. Alicia, thank you. And I suspect that if you wanted to replace that word with productive or reaching my goals or whatever it is related to productivity and time management, you could do that too, couldn't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I teach how to do self-hypnosis in my book, and it's for those types of purposes, for more confidence, for stress relief, for goal achievement. And it's a wonderful process. It's a wonderful tool to use to help you to achieve your goals.
That's just fabulous. I thank you so much for spending time with me today, Alicia. I want to make sure people know that if they want to learn more from you and about you, and they want to get more information about you, people can go to www.aliciakramer.com, and that's ALICIACRAMER.com. And you're giving away 3 free hypnosis MP3s. Thank you.
Yes.
To increase self-confidence, release stress, and believe in yourself. I'm delighted that you're doing that. Thank you. And I also want to let people know that you have a book called Hypnosis for Success, Learn How to Tap into the Potential of Your Mind, and that's available on Amazon for Nook and Kindle. So that's another great resource that we can tap into. I have so enjoyed our time together. Thank you, Alicia, for being on Time Management Radio. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's been a delight, and I'm sure that we'll be able to get a lot of more great information after we listen to this over and over again. So thanks a lot, Alicia.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
We all have habits and behaviors that we'd like to change. Face it, nobody's perfect. But habits and behaviors they're created over a lifetime from our experiences and from our role models. And they're deeply embedded into our subconscious mind. Habits are sort of like the software that runs in the background on your computer. You don't really have to do anything. It just keeps running in the background to make your computer work. Well, and let's say you want to change a habit, but no matter how you try, you just can't do it. Well, maybe you procrastinate on starting or finishing new projects, and say it's interfering with your productivity and your ability to get things done. You want to change, but everything you've tried just doesn't help you. There may be some deeper issue at work here at the subconscious level of your mind that's contributing to your procrastination and preventing you from making the change. You may be afraid of failure, for instance, or maybe you grew up around people who are highly critical of you, so instead of facing criticism, You just don't get around to finishing what you start. Your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe. If you try to change a habit and your mind perceives that as unsafe, you're going to stay stuck right where you are. So in order to change any habit that doesn't support us, we have to change these old patterns and the old mental conditioning at the subconscious level of the mind, where those patterns are operating on autopilot. And that's where the use of a tool like hypnotherapy or deep mental relaxation can be really helpful. It's a very effective way to help us change some of those old patterns and subconscious beliefs that just don't support our goals anymore. Hypnotherapy is a process that helps get your brain into a deep level of relaxation so you can reprogram it in a sense to help you change your negative or unsupportive habits and behaviors. And using this tool can also help you uncover what's really stopping you from making a change. And once you know what's stopping you and the underlying cause, then you can rewrite your story and recondition your mind by reinforcing it with more positive mental imagery, positive feelings, and supportive self-talk. The most successful people operate a level of a mind that supports continual personal positive change and growth. And hypnotherapy is a personal development process and a useful tool that can help us navigate around our deepest fears and bring us to the other side to experience real success. Just a reminder, if you want to have a guilt-free holiday this year, join Monique Wells for her paid teleclass on December 6th, How to Say No to Guilt. For details, early bird pricing, and to sign up, go to http://tinyurl.com/C5F as in Frank 3H54. And that website is also on our Time Management Radio homepage at webtalkradio.net. And if you go to www.catherine-mckinnon.com and sign up there, I'll send you some productivity tips and the latest time management techniques. You'll also find my blog there, as well as information about training programs and my book, Triple Your Time Today, and personal and corporate coaching. So sign up on my website to get the inside scoop and let me know how to reach you. It's the only way I can share additional information with you. Thank you so much for listening to Time Management Radio. Set aside time to join me next week for a fresh look at maximizing your productivity when we talk with Sheila Hawkins and ask the question, do you keep all of your information in your head? It might be time to put some systems in place to help you maximize your productivity. Until then, remember, it's not how much time you have that matters. What really matters is how you spend the time you have.